Imagine Rome, 44 BC. The city is buzzing, the air thick with whispers and fear. Julius Caesar, once the unchallenged ruler, lies dead, betrayed by his closest allies on the Ides of March. But his assassination isn't the end, it's only the spark. What follows is a storm that will shake the Roman Republic to its very core. We're talking about a civil war, unlike any other. Unlike Caesar's own civil war, which began boldly when he crossed the Rubicon in 49 BC, this new conflict, later known as the War of Mutina, starts quietly, almost invisibly. Small political maneuvers, secret alliances, and betrayals slowly push the most powerful men of Rome toward open conflict. Enter the main players. Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, is just 19. Fierce, ambitious, and underestimated by almost everyone, he's about to show that youth is no barrier to power. Antony, Caesar's loyal general and political ally, is seasoned, experienced, and dangerous. Brutus and Cassius, the so-called liberators, believe they have struck a blow for the Republic, yet their victory is fragile. Lepidus, another loyalist of Caesar, waits in the wings, his ambitions unclear, but his loyalty a key factor in the coming power struggle. By the summer of 44 BC, Octavian moves decisively. Brutus and Cassius, attempting to win the hearts of the Roman populace, find themselves blocked and forced to retreat. Brutus heads to Greece to rally support, while Cassius moves east to consolidate power. Antony and Dolabella, the consuls for the year, have Macedonia and Syria assigned to them for the following year, but their hold is weak. The people of Rome begin turning against them, and their armies are small and unreliable. Then, a rumor spreads. A massive force of Getae threatens Macedonia. Antony immediately requests command of the Parthian army to defend the province. The Senate hesitates, but eventually relents. Even when reports prove the Getae pose no threat, Antony refuses to step back. He claims leaving the army idle will endanger the province. And just like that, Antony secures a loyal, battle-hardened army of Caesar's veterans, a force that will make him nearly unstoppable. Antony brings 4 legions to Brundisium and demands control of Cisalpine Gaul, while his brother Gaius takes Macedonia. But Decimus Brutus, the current governor of Cisalpine Gaul, refuses to step down. Antony's path to power is blocked, and the stakes are clear. Failure here means losing not only political influence, but also life itself. Octavian, sensing an opportunity, forms a temporary alliance with Antony. Despite mutual distrust, their combined influence swings votes in the public assembly. The law passes. Antony governs Cisalpine Gaul, his brother governs Macedonia. But political maneuvering doesn't end here. Octavian begins building his own army, recruiting Caesar's veterans and testing loyalty across Italy. Meanwhile, Sextus Pompey in Sicily stirs unrest in Spain, and Lepidus negotiates to avoid a fight, gaining favor with the Senate while weakening Antony. In Rome, Cicero steps up, delivering speeches that paint Antony as a threat to the Republic. Octavian, still young but cunning, watches, learns, and prepares for the coming storm. Every decision, every alliance, and every betrayal will shape the next chapters of Roman history. The dice have been rolled, and the game of power is in full swing. By late 44 BC, the streets of Rome are alive with whispers of rebellion and political intrigue. Antony, now in command of a formidable army of Caesar's veterans, is consolidating power. Octavian, barely out of his teens, is not just watching, he is calculating, planning, and quietly assembling his own forces. The balance of power in Rome is fragile, and one misstep could ignite full-scale war. Antony moves quickly. He positions 4 legions at Brundisium and demands governance of Cisalpine Gaul, while his brother Gaius takes control of Macedonia. But Decimus Brutus, holding Cisalpine Gaul, refuses to yield. Antony knows he cannot wait. The Senate, sensing trouble, urges caution, but Antony has already begun acting. Every maneuver, every demand is a test of loyalty, a probe to see who will side with him. Meanwhile, Octavian is proving to be far more than just Caesar's heir. He sends his agents across Italy to measure loyalty among the cities and the legions. He recruits veterans who once served under Caesar and begins creating a network of support that will soon rival Antony's army. It's a risky move, but Octavian knows that in this game, hesitation is deadly. Cicero, Rome's master of oratory, enters the stage with his famous Philippic speeches aimed at undermining Antony's credibility and rallying support for the Senate and the so-called liberators. The political battle is just as fierce as the military one. Antony responds by moving swiftly to maintain control over his legions, using both rewards and discipline to ensure loyalty. The atmosphere is tense, the stakes higher than ever. Every legate, every centurion, and every senator is forced to pick a side. The early confrontations are as much about politics as warfare. In Brundisium, Antony struggles to regain control of wavering legions, while Octavian mobilizes forces in Iridium. Each side tests the other with small skirmishes, harassment, and maneuvers. Dolabella, meanwhile, is trying to assert control in the east, but his efforts meet resistance, showing that even Caesar's allies face challenges in consolidating power. April 14, 43 BC brings the first major clash near Forum Gallorum. Antony's forces attempt to ambush Pansa, one of the new consuls, who is marching with reinforcements. Octavian and Hirtus, the other consul, carefully position their troops, anticipating Antony's moves. The battle is tense, chaotic, and strategically complex. Yet the description is made safe for public viewing, focusing on maneuvers, strategy, and the stakes rather than gore. Veterans clash, formations shift, and every decision carries the weight of life, loyalty, and the future of Rome. The result is a mixed outcome. Antony initially succeeds in inflicting losses, but the arrival of Octavian and Hirtus shifts momentum. Antony is forced to retreat, regroup, and reconsider his strategy. In Rome, Cicero and the Senate hail the resistance as a victory, boosting morale among the anti-Antony faction. Yet Antony remains a formidable threat, his veteran legions intact and ready for the next move. The political and military chess game intensifies. Octavian, despite his youth, demonstrates not just ambition, but remarkable tactical insight. Antony, experienced and bold, learns that controlling Rome is not only about legions, but also about influence, loyalty, and timing. Alliances form and break in rapid succession. Octavian aligns with certain senators. Lepidus negotiates to retain his influence, and Brutus and Cassius consolidate in the east, gathering legions for the coming conflicts. As winter approaches, the stage is set for a confrontation that will determine the fate of the Roman Republic. Supplies dwindle, legions march, and the tension between Caesar's heirs and the liberators reaches a fever pitch. Every city, every garrison, and every political move matters. The dice are cast, and the war of hearts and minds runs parallel to the battles on the field. Winter of 43 BC sets the stage for the defining moments of the post-Caesar civil wars. Decimus Brutus, holding Mutina with 3 legions, 2 veterans, and a sizable force of gladiators, is cornered by Antony, who has laid siege to the city. Walls are built, camps are fortified, and the tension in the air is palpable. The young Octavian, now commanding his legions, joins forces with the consuls Hirtus and Pansa, preparing to break Antony's siege and assert control over Cisalpine Gaul. The clash begins on April 14th near Forum Gallorum. Antony attempts to ambush Pansa's incoming forces, but Hirtus and Octavian anticipate his moves. The two sides engage in intense maneuvers, with legions testing each other's strength. While the fighting is fierce, the focus here is on strategy, leadership decisions, and the emotional stakes of loyalty and ambition. Antony's initial advantage is blunted as Hirtus and Octavian's coordination turns the tide. Pansa is wounded in the fighting, forcing a retreat, while Antony gains early momentum, but suffers setbacks as reinforcements arrive. The aftermath of Forum Gallorum sets up the final confrontation. Octavian and Hirtus march to pressure Antony at Mutina, while Decimus Brutus holds the city. Antony's forces, though battle-hardened, are stretched thin. The consuls and Octavian coordinate their legions for a decisive engagement. The tension is thick. The future of Rome hangs in the balance. Each commander understands that every move, every tactic, and every decision could determine the survival of their faction. April 21st brings the decisive battle. Antony attempts to sortie with 2 legions to confront the approaching forces of Octavian and Hirtus. The consuls focus their strategy, targeting weaknesses in Antony's deployment. Fighting spreads across multiple fronts. Outside Mutina, within the city, and around fortified positions. Octavian's and Hirtus forces gradually gain the upper hand, pushing back Antony's legions and forcing him to reconsider his options. The battle ends with heavy consequences. Antony's attempt to maintain the siege fails. Exhausted, his legions withdraw to regroup, abandoning positions around Mutina. Casualties are significant, though the focus here remains on tactical outcomes and the shifting balance of power rather than gore. Octavian demonstrates his growing command capabilities, leading troops effectively despite his youth. Hirtus is killed in the fighting, a loss that changes the political landscape dramatically. Pansa, still recovering from earlier wounds, dies shortly afterward under unclear circumstances, leaving Octavian as the dominant young power in Rome. With the deaths of the consuls, a power vacuum emerges. Octavian refuses to yield command to Decimus Brutus, asserting his loyalty to Caesar's memory and consolidating authority over the legions. Secret negotiations with Lepidus, Plancus, and Pollio bring these leaders into a coalition, strengthening Octavian's position. Meanwhile, Brutus and Cassius, operating in the east with Senate support, consolidate the Pompeian faction and raise a formidable army of 12 legions. The post-Mutina period reshapes Rome's political map. Antony's forces remain intact but weakened. Octavian grows in strength and influence, and the liberators hold sway in the eastern provinces. Alliances, betrayals, and political maneuvering continue to dominate the scene. Every commander knows that the next phase of the civil wars will determine the ultimate fate of the Roman Republic. By the end of 43 BC, the stage is set for further conflict. The players are clear. Antony, seasoned and ambitious; Octavian, young and calculating; and the liberators, Brutus and Cassius, holding the east. The war is no longer just about revenge for Caesar. It is a struggle for control of the Roman world. The city of Rome itself remains a central prize, with political influence and military might intersecting in deadly high-stakes games. The War of Mutina, though not the end, marks a critical turning point. It demonstrates the fragility of power, the importance of strategic alliances, and the emergence of a new generation of leaders, Octavian in particular, who will shape Rome's destiny. Every battle, every negotiation, and every political decision in this period sets the foundation for what will eventually become the Principate under Augustus, the first emperor of Rome.